Welcome back to Diecast Resurrection. Today we are working on a Paddy Wagon. This was sent in by a user of Reddit. We've got a few more of these Reddit cards to get through before we get back to our regular scheduled programming. So this little Paddy Wagon is in pretty rough shape. Most of them are in this condition, sadly. The first thing to go is the little plastic roof and the windshield, and this is how you get them, you know. Anytime we have an original Paddy Wagon like this we need parts for, what I turn to is the 1993 release of the Paddy Wagon, and we'll use that for parts. This is the 1993 release, 25th anniversary edition right here. A little dusty. These wheels are the main thing, but the engine, the roof, the glass, everything that is on here will go on to an original without too much trouble. Paddy Wagon like this, in this condition, you're probably looking at about $6. That's what we're going to be doing today. I've got a bunch of these I've taken apart already. So I got extra bodies, I got extra roofs, I got extra glass. I even got little extra motors if we ever needed it. Hopefully I've got my mic dialed in this time. I spent all morning working on it after last week's fiasco. Doing voiceovers. Everybody knows I don't like doing voiceovers. I prefer to do my audio live. That's right, live. Oh, that was effective. So much force that it just pushed that little teeny mushroom right through. Easy installation. And I've got the center marked for this. We're going to be able to drill that with ease, and we'll just remove the little mushroom head off of that post. There. So that's the idea. You want to get that apart without actually touching your drill bit to the base, so that is about as perfect as it's going to get. So the little motor is going to need a clean up for sure. So let's go ahead and remove this paint. That's as much of the paint as I could get off of here. A little bit cotton, some oxidation, but I think most of that is going to clean up well with a little brass wire wheelie and our polish, and we'll just get this body cleaned up. Just going to give this a little polish with a brass wire wheelie just to get rid of any oxidation that's left on this body before we go to paint. This is starting to look like something. Gonna Scotch Brite a couple of these problem areas on top of these fenders. Are exceptionally bad. I don't think it's going to affect our painting too much just because we're not using a Spectraflame on here. We're using a solid color. I might even dress it up a little bit with a candy. It's looking pretty good so far. I think we're almost ready for paint. We're going to mock up our little tub. So this is the original. This is the replacement. Painted by Mattel. And coincidentally, it's already the color we need. So you can see that's our original Paddy Wagon out of my book. There's our little piece. So let's make sure our replacement part is going to fit. There it is. And it sits in there really good. So we'll take our replacement roof. We'll just pop that bad boy on there. There, it fits like a charm. So we got a replacement canopy or whatever you want to call it. Put onto our original car. And all we're missing is our glass. So that's very cool. And this will all go together on the original base. Lines up with our screw hole. We are ready to go. So that is very nice. Pimp. So I'm going to give this one last good degrease. Get this nice and dry and ready for paint. And I'm going to meet you in the paint booth. I'm going to hit this with a little bit of gray sealer. It's going to be my primer substitute. Good stuff. I just got to reduce that, I don't know, 10%. And that should protect our body for years to come. So put a little bit of that in there. After our sealer dries, we're going to hit the car with a little bit of silver, just to add a little bit of pizzazz to it, and then we're going to spray the blue. So last time we did one of these Paddy Wagons, we did it in a midnight blue candy. So I think we're going to do the same thing here today, just to add a little extra pizzazz to the paint. At first glance, it's going to look pretty original, but in the light, I think it's going to just add a little bit of extra flair. Seeing that we're missing half of the original parts anyways, we might as well put a little extra pizzazz in the paint job if you're feeling what I'm feeling. Going to throw in a little bit of balancing clear, and then we're going to just reduce so that we can spray. And last time we used this blue, we had a really cool effect in the sun. So it's pretty close. With all the angles on this body, it's really hard just to keep the candy even. I think I did a pretty good job. And it looks pretty dark right now, but that's going to change quite a bit once we get some gloss on here. So I'm feeling this for now. I'm going to set this aside, let it cure, hit it with a clear coat, and then we'll move on to the base and get our engine and everything looking real spiffy for this build. Now our body's painted, we could get to work on this. This doesn't look too bad. It's a little tidy up, little polish. Same with our motor. We're going to tidy that up as well. We're just going to use a little bit of metal glow here. And here. We'll shine these up. Okay, that's looking pretty flossed up. So is this. Bleep, 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 bleep. The hardest part of this whole build is drilling and tapping this little teeny post in order to accept a screw, because we need it to put our car back together. So I'm going to grind off the little teeny mushroom that's left on here. We'll flatten it out, center punch, and then re-drill. Okay, I drilled that off camera. It just increases the success rate and lowers the chance of me putting a drill bit into my fingers. So, I'm going to get a little burr, and I'm going to just clean up this post now that it's drilled, and we'll make sure that it goes through our base. These are the very same wheels that come off the 93 25th anniversary edition. And we'll just put those bad boys right into our original Paddy Wagon. So I'm just going to open up the little crimps a little bit where these original axles were. And we'll just drop these in, and we'll probably use a little dab of glue. Or we could use the crimps. Alright, we're ready to do an assembly here. So let's go ahead and piece this thing together. Oh, I gotta grab the glass. And this beautifully painted body. Like so. Hammerhead engine. Install. Watch the paint. Watch the paint. If we can get a couple screws in the bottom without all this falling out, we're home free. That is looking beautiful. Look at that paint. Woo, baby. So we got one last step. We'll throw this little roof on. Call this baby done. Beautiful. OMG. Look at that paint. Woo. Looks like it's wet, doesn't it? Beautiful. Can't see a lot of the blue coming out of the candy in this light, of course. It never does. If you check those fenders right now, you can just kind of see it. Hopefully our monitor settings aren't too far apart. Really nice blue in person. Almost black. Really nice color. I'd like to try it on something else other than these little Paddy Wagons, but that's just how the cookie crumbles so far. So this turned out really good. If you find yourself in need of parts for a Paddy Wagon, check out the 1993 version that they made. A lot of the parts cross over. The engine, if you need it, probably even the base. So there's no excuse why, if we work together, we can't get all of these bad boys back on the road. And forget these 93 replacements. Parts cars. There's so many of them, they're not worth anything. So, until next time, leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Make sure you check out the merch if you haven't. New logo, very cool. Should be right below your video right now, actually. Tomorrow I'm going to do a small unboxing video. One of you guys sent in a box of used cars, older cars. I think there's about 30 of them in there. So I think we'll go through them quickly, and maybe you guys will have some ideas for some of the cars. A lot of muscle cars in there, so I think we'll do that tomorrow. And yeah, other than that, folks, have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the next one.